Everyone, welcome back to the Ask Dr. Be Good show, where we like to show off the neat things that are happening in public education, and in this case, at Legacy Preparatory Charter Academy. We had, a few weeks back, the high school version of the junior ROTC program with the promise that we would see the middle school version not too far in the future, and that future is today. And so without wasting more precious podcast time, because in the podcast world 30 minutes equals 5 minutes. We'll be done in no time. And so let's get started. Gunnery Sergeant, thank you for being here, and let's have you introduce yourself and then start going around the room.
All right, well, my name is Gunnery Sergeant Finch. Fairly new. This is my first year, like I said last time, at LPCA, and I've recently retired back in June of this year. Retired 20 years of active service with the Marine Corps, and ROTC is something I wanted to do once I retired, and I got with this school, and now it's came to fruition, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. We've been waiting for you for 3 years. We got the uniforms, we got some of the stuff that goes with your program, but we couldn't find an instructor. So we've been anxiously awaiting your arrival. So thanks for being here.
Yes,
Who'd you bring with you?
I'll start right here. I'll let the cadets kind of introduce themselves, and so we'll go around the room, starting with Lopez, and we'll come around.
My name is Santiago Lopez. I'm currently in the 8th grade, and I'm one of the squad leaders in GROTC.
My name is Vanessa Catalan. I'm in 8th grade, and I'm the class leader.
My name is Brian Lopez, and I'm a cadet. I'm currently in 8th grade as well, and yeah.
My name is Nina Uday, and I'm a cadet, and I'm in 8th grade too.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. Gunnery Sergeant Finch, would you talk to us a little bit about the middle school program, differences, and so forth?
All right, so the biggest difference I want to express to a lot of people is that we always call it the JROTC, and JROTC is really the high school form of the program. So which is 9th through 12th. So what we have here is what they call the LCC, the Leadership Cadet Corps, which is middle school driven, 6th through 8th grade. But at Mesquite we have just 7th and 8th graders this year. So we also may hear it as JCC, the Junior Cadet Corps, and the program basically started back in California. Was the first schools to start the middle school doing the LCC. It's California, and then Texas kind of took over the program, and California and Texas are the two biggest population of this program. And basically it's like it's an elective course, and they implements into the middle school, emphasizes leadership development, positive self-esteem, if a cadet has self-esteem issues, teamwork, being responsible, and being accountable for their actions is basically what we try to preach to them every day. And normally LCC program is Army driven. So what's unique about this one is that myself as a former Marine coming in and implementing the program, everything here is Marine driven. So a lot of the programs you may see across Texas or California or across the nation will probably be Army driven. So that's what's one thing that's unique about it. These guys are kind of getting the best of the best.
Okay. So how many kids do you have in your program?
Right now, the overview of I have 70 middle school, 102 overall with middle school and high school, but specifically the middle school has 70, which 38 are males and 32 females, 41 7th graders and 29 8th graders.
I want to ask you, but we'll start with the kids. About what made you want to join? And here's my wondering, because this is a new program. You're in 8th grade, not 7th grade. It sort of started with 7th grade, right? Mm-hmm. And so what was so attractive about this LCC program that made so many kids sign up?
So when I did research on JRTC to see what it was about, I noticed it was about like the Marines. So I was like, So I told myself if I took this chance, I could get a better interest in joining the Marines and becoming a better person than I already am.
So I think that that's a very true statement, that if you're if you go LCC and then junior ROTC through high school, the chances of you being selected by the Marines is a little bit higher?
Oh, yes, ma'am, absolutely. So if you participate in the JROTC program, 4 years of high school, the Marine Corps offers a meritorious promotion, being that you had those 4 years of ROTC. So when you enlist in the Marine Corps, instead of enlisting as an E1, you'll automatically be an E2. While
a little bit more money.
Yes, ma'am.
And status.
So you're starting already, above.
Ahead of the other. Wow,
right.
That's cool. And I love that you started the sentence with "I researched." Good for you.
Thank you.
Vanessa?
I joined because I wanted to see what it was like. The teacher didn't really explain what it was, but since it was new, I wanted to try it out and see what was different about it than any other class.
What did you hear about it? What was different enough to catch your attention?
The teacher said it would be a lot of physical work, like working out, a lot of working out.
And that didn't scare you?
No, it
Good
made
for
me
you.
want to join more.
Good, I love that. And sir, Mr. Lopez, right?
And yes, ma'am. Last year they gave us the opportunity to choose our classes, and my uncle was a former Army officer, and he came frequently to the not frequently, but like every vacations for like 4 days, and he told me in those 4 days he told me a little bit about what they do in that. So when we were able to choose our classes and I saw JROTC, I was like, yes, I can be like him this time. So, and the counselor told us it was going to be a lot of physical training, and since my uncle being in the Army still, he's strong and buff. I want to be like that too one day, and so that's one of the reasons I joined.
All right. So have you told your uncle?
Yes, I told him.
Is he proud of you for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Nina?
Well, I joined a little bit like after everybody, and that was because I wasn't really too sure, but they gave me the option to go to JROTC, and I heard other people talk about it, and they were saying like how they liked it so much, so I just decided to go.
Okay. So you're trying it out. And that's certainly, middle school is certainly the time to do exactly that. Just like we will have the overview classes for you on the IT and health science so that you can make good decisions at the end of eighth grade as to what instructional path you want to choose in high school. Trying out a program like this in middle school is a really safe thing to do. Can you talk a little bit, Gunnery Sergeant, about the path? Because I know that we talked about it in high school podcast, but I think it's good that we might have some new ears. And they go LCC, and then they go into the high school, and then what happens? What's the best case flow that happens?
The best case flow is basically trying to hopefully get them early as possible. 7th grade. In the 7th grade, they're more so. I'm giving them like almost the bare minimum, just introducing them to the program. They're a little bit more immature, a little bit, so just give them the bare minimum. 8th grade, I give them a little bit more, and with its academics, whether it's physical activity, just a little bit more of that, and then hopefully, the goal is to get them to the high school, because I know once they get to the high school, they're going to be there to stay. Because for one, they already have the 2 years of just understanding the basics of what I'm trying to build. And then once they get to the high school, it's almost like they're already indebted in the program. So for the future, I'm looking. The program is going to eventually run itself, because by the time the 7th graders now become in 2 years be 10th graders, they'll already know everything. They'll know all the basics. They'll know what a squad leader is supposed to do, what a class leader is supposed to do. They'll know their job. They'll know everyone that's around them job. So. And the goal is for the program to run itself, and the gunny just comes in, kind of directs the class leader what to do, the class lead make it happen along with the squad leader. So, and then after that, hopefully give them all the tools to be successful. So that for me personally, I would love to see some of these kids now be able to put on a real uniform, after graduation from Legacy, and then we can make some dialogue about what kind of decisions they need to make after that. So it'd be great to see them after high school too.
Do they still have this? Military still have the opportunities like what was offered to my brother, and my brother's he's 55, and yet he joined as a 10th grader in college, so sophomore in college. He had to go to boot camp. Then they waited for him to not only graduate college, but waited for him until he got out of law school. And so they waited for him 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went in as a first lieutenant with several years of seniority.
Oh, yes.
In pay and so forth. Do they offer that still?
It does. It's ROTC. Basically, what happens is you leave high school, you go straight to college. You go straight to college to a school. I'll give you an example. I was an NROTC instructor at VMI, Virginia Military Institute, from 2009 to 12. And there I had kids from freshman to senior. And basically they was there to get their degree. And once they graduated school, they would go to what they call OCS, Officer Candidate School.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Officer Candidate School, and once they complete Officer Candidate School, and it's basically boot camp for officers. Is basically what it is. They complete OCS, and then they're full-blown second lieutenants in the military. So basically, and they put so much money in they put so much money behind you in that aspect. So they look for the students to get a good education, for one, and then two, to get the training that's necessary for them to be able to go out and explore. So
the military, it's like a give a little, get a little. So they pay for some of your college, or depending on what package you pick, sort of.
Yes, and you also can. So for one, you have to have a scholarship. So what happens is you can go there your freshman year without having a scholarship, and you work by your work ethic and putting the extra hours in academically. You can work towards getting a scholarship, because every kid that graduates there is on a scholarship basis. And that's what I mean by they putting the money behind you. So once you get a scholarship, you have basically got a full ride at this point for the rest of the time.
And then there is a stay put requirement, right? You have to serve a certain amount of years in the military to sort of pay back that.
Yes, once you become an officer, I think for 6 years, depending on your MOS, officer can sign a six year contract. So basically, they're not necessarily paying it back monetarily, but they're paying it back with time. Mm-hmm. For the most part.
And so you have the opportunity of learning new skills, or to sharpen the skills that you come in with. If you come in as a lawyer, for example, my brother was a lawyer in Okinawa for 7 years. Yeah. And so certainly he was able to sharpen his skills that he brought in. Other people come in and learn skills, right? They learn how to service planes and so forth, so depending on your level. So it's certainly a give and take.
It is, definitely.
It is. We talked before the show started about how it impacted your life, it changed your life. I talked a little bit about my son-in-law, who's active Army right now, and he had a tough childhood, and the military has made him into a very good man, father. He just won Base Commander of the Year up in Warren Robins Air Force Base, and so there are opportunities to really do well in the military.
Absolutely. And
to make yourself have some good career satisfaction. So let's see. What's the number one thing that you have learned, Nina, from the program so far? When I say learned, gotten out of it, seen something, what's the number one thing you...
For me, the number one thing that I've learned is probably working with other people as a team, because I'm usually the type of person to want to do everything myself, and with this I've had to learn to do things with other people.
And those are career skills And you, when you were talking earlier, you reminded me of PBL. Now you're reminding me of PBL. So this is a really nice enhancement to our PBL type of school. How about yourself?
Yes, ma'am. The main thing I've learned so far being in this program is integrity, because before this, I wasn't really conscious of the things I did good and the things I did bad. But now with this program, I always have that like sense in the back of my mind to always do the good thing, because people are watching me and expect a leader from me. So that's
Yeah, when you're wearing that uniform, it changes things, doesn't it?
yes, a lot.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Let me finish up with these guys. Vanessa?
It has made me more confident, because when we first started out, he would make us read papers out loud about military people. And then now that we're wearing the uniform, we really stick out. And when we go marching, we march in front of people, and they're always looking at us. And
You're more comfortable with that now? A little bit prideful? Cool. I like it.
A very important lesson I've been taught is leadership. Like when we're marching outside without leaders, mostly every cadet wouldn't really know what to do without leaders.
So talk a little bit about your squad position. What squad leader position? How'd you earn it, and what is involved with it?
I don't know how I earned it, but what I have to do as a squad leader is that I have to do the right thing, so people behind me can also follow the same thing that I'm doing, so the marching can look good.
So Gunnery Sergeant, what did you see in Santiago that made you name him squad leader?
For one, he's a very smart kid, and I don't have never had any troubles with him. How I go about picking who my squad leaders are, I kind of evaluate these kids. I have a little chart that they don't know about. I have a little chart that I kind of evaluate them on how they speak, you know, how they interact with people. When I put them in position to be successful, what kind of the feedback I get from them, and just overall confidence. Because if I could put somebody out there that's confident, I know that someone else will be able to follow them.
So you didn't realize you were earning it.
Yeah.
But just by the way you carry yourself and your mannerisms,
Absolutely.
he saw in you something he wanted to enhance, and leadership positions tend to do that. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit, Vanessa, about your class leader position.
Every time we come into his room, I have to say the cadet creed. I have to call roll. So everyone's always looking at me, and I've grown to get comfortable around it. And when we're marching, kind of follow him around, but I also learn how to command the platoon, so then I would be able to do it next year.
Okay. And I'm sure the other half of the table here will be earning their positions very quickly too. You spoke highly of them before
yes.
we started, so just know that you're doing the right thing. Matter of fact, there was some inferencing about a future position, so it's a how can I say this? That type of incentive really works with people. It's not only a kid thing, but it works in the military as well.
Oh, yes.
You know, if you act right and you follow the rules and you show effort, you're going to be rewarded. Who knows the 14 leadership traits? Okay, so if I went around the room and asked you to do one, you could do one next. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Go ahead and start.
Justice,
Judgment,
Dependability,
Initiative?
decisiveness,
tact,
integrity,
Oh yeah, enthusiasm.
bearing,
unselfishness,
courage,
Knowledge.
loyalty.
endurance.
All right. Good job. Is that something you have to say every time you go to class too? How do you learn those?
We have an acronym we say, and because if you saw me in my head, I was saying JJ did tie buckle, because I was trying to remember the tie, then buckle, the C. Yeah.
Yeah, old teaching trick, right? Well, good. And so it's not just knowing, right? It's showing.
That's right.
So I think it's safe to say that you guys have started showing pretty well on these traits, because you're here, and Gunnery Sergeant has spoken highly of you all. So, all right, where are we on my agenda? Let's see. I don't want to leave anything out. Next year, so Gunnery Sergeant, can you talk a little bit about their freshman year? What will be different in 9th grade than what's happening now?
One thing that'll be different, as you can see their uniforms right now, they have the Velcro, but they have anything on it right now. The main thing to be different is once next year they'll have some Velcro up there and it says high school and ROTC. So that's one big thing. But as far as academically, they'll just get a little bit more than what they got now. Physically, right now, these guys they do a little bit of physical training, but they don't do it as well as the high school. And some of it just give them something to look forward to. Some of it are itching, chomping at the bit to try to get outside and do a lot of physical activity, and I tell them, hey, you be careful what you ask for. But I think they're ready for it. Next year they'll be like my high school right now. My high school they PT every Thursday. Every Thursday they're out there, they're getting some physical training. So that's one thing on a consistent basis. They'll be doing more physical training along with the more of the academic stuff. Do a little bit more stuff with the community. Right now at the middle school, we're a lot of things we're doing now. I'm trying to start small with them. So right now we do stuff with the school, as far as we may go and pick up trash. We may pick up trash around the school, which is getting them ready for bigger things, like community service. We may do things with the classrooms, help other teachers with getting things together with the classrooms and stuff like that. So right now and then next year when they get to the high school, it'd be more of trying to get them away from the campus, probably try to do certain things with the community.
When you talk about academics, what are they learning in your class?
Oh wow, we're learning a lot of rank structure. Of course, the 14 leadership traits, the phonetic alphabet, general orders, which is next on the agenda. We're gonna go in right as soon as we get back from Christmas. We're gonna start with the 11 general orders.
And what is that?
Those are general orders that all Marines have to abide by. Orders that we put in place to make sure that everything is ran smooth. Whether we're in a combat situation or whether we're in garrison, it doesn't matter. These 11 leadership, not leadership traits, but these 11 general orders will play a factor in anywhere you are in the military. So,
can they apply those to their personal lives?
Oh yeah, everyday life, everything. Even the 14 leadership traits that we harp on so much. And one thing I haven't taught them yet is that I know you asked them which leadership trait is probably the better one. They're all equally important. Without one, you probably can't have the other, because they all play a part in each other. So, and custom and courtesies. We also learn custom and courtesies. How to salute, just little things that we do on an everyday basis.
Now, can we go back to the orders one? Give me some examples of.
One would be let's see. After the 14 leadership traits, the JJ did top buckle. So so I'll break it down to you. The first thing they have to learn are the 14 leadership traits. And once they get those down, then when the 11 general orders come, I want to kind of save them for these guys. But one would be to treat everybody with respect and dignity. That are one of the general orders.
So are these about how to comport yourself?
Yes, basically.
Because I know, I mean, we all know, not only from what we've seen in movies, but what I've heard from my dad and my brother who were in the Marines, that you act a certain way when you're out in public, especially around other Marines.
Yes.
And so those general orders have to do with that.
So one would be to take charge of this post and all government property in view. So to take charge of this post. So basically what that is saying is that if myself and another Marine if I'm standing a post and he's coming to relieve me, I have to take charge. I have to pass on the information to him so that he knows exactly what is expected of this post. Another would be to receive, obey, and pass on to the sentry who relieved me all orders from the commanding officer of the day, officers and non-commissioned officers of the guard only. And all this saying is that he takes my post, I receive all the information, I have to make sure that I pass it on to the person that relieves me next. So it's little things like that. To be especially watchful at night and during the times for challenging all people all on and near my post, and never leave my post without proper authority. Things like that they're learning. It's a lot into it. I'll have to break it down to them Barney style.
Sure. But they'll be better people for
absolutely.
it. All right, guys, let me ask you, what are you personally feeling excited about as far as high school and the getting into the ROTC program there?
I am excited to go to ROTC for high school because since, like you said, they do PT, which is physical training, and I kind of want to get into that so I can be physically fit and so I can gain more responsibility since that's what high schoolers have to do.
Okay. Thank you.
I also look forward to PT because I joined to get fit, and since I'm class leader and I'm learning from Gunnery Sergeant, I will also hopefully be able to lead the platoon.
Yes, like I said earlier, I'm really excited for next year because we're gonna have PT classes, but as well we have this like little side program in JROTC next year. We're gonna be mentors to middle schoolers, so that this way I'm gonna be able to lead them in a certain way, in the correct way, so they can be one day better than me. I hope so.
Okay, good goal.
I'm just excited for the more responsibilities that we're gonna have whenever we're in high school because that's just the next step up.
Now let's go back around the table. Nina, we'll start with you. Tell me, based on what you know so far, you have any future aspirations with, after graduating high school, then what? Have you thought that far ahead?
No, I really haven't, but yeah. No.
Okay, your jury's still out. Okay.
I'm really thinking about it because it sounds like a really interesting thing to do, and I would like to learn even more. Because one thing I've learned being in this program is that we don't really have friends outside of our cadets. Because my comrade cadets, I really trust them, and I can like trust them with anything. They're like my main friends are in JROTC, and that's what I like. But after graduation, I'm thinking about it because maybe I'll join it.
Vanessa?
I want to be a surgeon, so maybe I could serve in the Marines as medic.
Yeah, they'll pay for your school, right?
Yeah.
As long as you promise your life to them afterwards, they'll pay for that schooling. They would like that. Santiago?
At the moment, I don't really have any plans to join the Marines.
Okay. And so I can see that some of your magic has really worked already after just a half a year. And that's life in the military, is that feeling of closeness, and you bond with your fellow soldiers, and it's already, I can hear some of that already happening, so good for you. All right, well, Gunnery Sergeant, any last words? Because as I said in the beginning, 30 minutes in a podcast feels like 5, and we're already towards the end of our time.
I'll leave with 2 notes. I want to caveat on something one of the cadets said about the mentorship program. So what happened is after Christmas, this program's kind of already been kind of laying the foundation to it. And after Christmas, what happened is the high school kids will be, I'll say, issued a middle school cadet as their mentee and they will have a set of things they need to do on a weekly basis to basically communicate with the middle school. So next year these guys will be in the high school, and they will no longer be the mentee; they will actually be the mentor. So I'm sure they'll be enthused to take on that responsibility. And the last thing is that my 8th grade class, this class right here, is special, and I mean special in a good way. I have 7th graders, and then of course I have the high schoolers. But these kids right here, I think they're built a little bit differently. I can trust the fact that if I need something done, I know for sure that this class right here they'll get it done. I brag about them a lot to my other cadets. I brag to the high school about these about my 8th grade cadets, and so I'm really proud of these guys and the work that they've put in. Not leaving the 7th grader out. They just got a little bit more maturing to do, and we'll get there. And next year they'll kind of be the head of the school, and that alone probably will make them be more responsible. So, but this class right here, I'm very impressed with the work they've put in so far.
So I'm curious, how long have you been at Legacy, Nina? I've been here for this year's 4.
For this school, I've been 3 years since 6th grade.
3, Vanessa?
4.5.
Santiago?
7.
So you have some veteran Legacy kids here, and what our testing is showing is that the kids who stay with us the longest have the best test scores and the best behaviors. And so I think you're getting the fruit of our labors.
Oh, yes.
So it's a nice trade-off. We're happy to hand these great kids off to you because it looks like you're taking them to the next level, and we thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
You've done a lot in half a year. So, well, thank you, everyone. We look forward to having some of you on again either later this year or next year and hearing more about the things that you've accomplished. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ask Dr. Be Good show. For more information on Legacy Preparatory Charter Schools, visit our website, legacypca.com, or call 469-249-1099. And remember to like us on Facebook, where we stream live weekly Tuesdays at 3 p.m.